No, it's mine. I don't want to share. Kidding.
Make it like a charity donation. This can only be used for. It's in the memo.
Ferris is never in a sharing mood. No, take that back.
Are we starting to see like a sensitive side of Saris?
I'll murder you all.
We get to listen to it and not acknowledge it.
All right, well, that could have gone a whole lot worse, all things considered.
Agreed.
Right now, I think it's probably prudent for us to figure out what we're going to be doing next. Our employer, I believe, wanted us to be at his abode in the next, 2 days, 3 days? Something like
2 days.
that?
The next 2 days.
In the meanwhile, would it be, obviously I would know, because I live in this world. How long is the trip from Rote to wherever it is that Ramos wants us to go?
Sharn.
Oh, that's like a day and a half or something.
Well, that's upsetting. I was assuming that we can't take care of Ramos's favor between now and then, so that'll have to wait until after we house it for him.
I got the impression there wasn't really an immediate time limit on it. I'm sure he wants to do it sooner rather than later, but it doesn't have to happen in the next few days or weeks.
Nah, I don't think there was a time limit on it, though, to be honest. I was rather selfishly hoping to go on there sooner than later.
Yes.
A little excited to talk shop with another artificer.
Well, if you consider that the one way from Road to Sharn is 15.25 hours one way,
Right.
and that seems to be outside of our current wheelhouse for the 2 days gap.
It can wait.
Sean isn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great in scope, but I agree with Saris.
Well, in the meantime, then, I mean, there's really not much to prepare for, is there? Our employer, I can't remember his name. It's
Jordan.
Jordan?
Jordan?
Diorian.
Diorian said that he'd supply us with basic amenities, so unless there's anything a little bit less basic that we might need, seems like we just need to show up at his place the next day or two. But obviously, the whole issue of who wants to steal that crown jewel, whatever it is, it's absolutely that gnome, right? I was the only one that got a bad feeling from him.
Oh,
I had a couple of I had a couple of questions about that.
Halfling.
It was a
sorry, not
halfling.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, he definitely needs to die.
Fennec is just going to point at Saris like, yes.
Wanton murder aside, what were his comments about the article in question?
He liked it. It was beautiful.
But did he not comment about it being some gaudy bauble?
Did.
And that's what I would say to you if I wanted to steal something from you and make you think it was worth less than it was.
And what about his candor towards having to plan this soiree?
Bragging rights. You maintain your cover.
Well, so far we know that not only did he, I believe one of you said, because I can't remember if he said Fennec or if one of you said that he said this, but he mentioned, or Diorian's wife mentioned that the halfling was the one who suggested putting it on display. Seems a little bit strange that he'd
yes.
recommend that when he thinks it's gaudy.
No, that's fair. It's pardon my assumption here, but with the events that happened, why does it feel like someone is trying to drum up the fact that this bauble might not have any value and is making a public affair of how valuable it actually is?
Okay, so that's just misdirection, so he's not on the motive list when it gets stolen, because he's casing the joint. The party planner gets to look around, see the place, check out its security measures, see where the necklace is usually stored, look at response time for the guards on hand. Then when he comes back, he can show up, waltz right in, take the necklace. Bob's your uncle. He gets to laugh all the way home.
Well, my thing is if this isn't about the bauble in specific and more about something being stolen from a dragon-marked house, this would effectively be a means of establishing... What's the word I want to look for here?
Reputation, street cred.
Justification for an assault, legal or otherwise, onto another individual house.
I'm pretty sure the filthy little halfling was setting up. This was all an elaborate ruse to get indoors, case the house, figure out easiest ways in, quickest response times, what he could get away with.
That's where our backgrounds differ. You're thinking of this as just a robbery, and I'm thinking of this as a potential political problem. That's all I'm saying.
No, because the heat of killing a dragon-marked house member, actual dragon-marked house member, is not something you want on you. You don't get to sell that or profit from it.
Well, no one said that any death had to happen.
Then what's
Just
the
a
point?
justification for hostilities.
They can do that any old other way they want.
Correct, so why not this?
This is too elaborate.
It really isn't.
It might not have anything to do with finance. It might have something to do with power. They found out that, I mean, they just happened. I mean power in a more literal sense, not a like a place of power. But that gem, I didn't get a chance to actually look at it. But based on what Dorian's wife said, it was found, and it seemed like it was in pristine condition. Magic items tend not to decay with age. There's a very real chance it could have some sort of enchantment on it. And if it does, and we get
a dragon-marked house would most likely have a curator for artifacts.
Fair. But either way,
it's a robbery.
Either way, once we get into that house, I'd very much like to try to identify it, if possible. It could be nothing, could just be a hunch, but finding out whether or not that has any.
You'll certainly have time with it.
Yeah, hopefully.
Or not. We might not actually be able to touch it. Well, you might not be able to.
Yeah. Also, I mean, I can't be the only one that found the little shattering glass incident a little bit suspect, am I? It seemed a bit too exciting to be a coincidence.
Wait, what shattering glass? Oh no, I knew that. Never mind.
The display room.
Oh yeah.
The reason the stampede happened.
The bedlam, yes. I did not have too much time to overlook the scene and make my own notes, but force would have been necessary to launch even a small woman into the glass display case hard enough to embed glass. Mostly you would expect lacerations and minor punctures, not an actual stab through an organ.
It's a little bit of random chance on that one. Glass breaks in various ways, and if you give it a chance, it'll slide right on you.
It might behoove us to try and find this young woman and ask her what exactly happened from her perspective. I mean, granted, she could have entirely been responsible for trying to steal it, but
if a person is pushed into a display case, where do you think the glass would go?
Depends on how they're pushed into it or how they fall.
Were they dropped on top of it, or were they pushed from the side? Both would indicate that the glass would fall into the case.
But it's a glass case. Some elements of the glass are walls. They are vertical. And if they shatter in just the right way, they will slide into you. Most unpleasantly.
Which is why if she was pushed into the case and those punctures happened, she would have had to have been pushed with at least a high amount of force. She would not likely have fallen onto this glass to have those punctures.
But a room full of witnesses and no one saw her get pushed in. Seems a bit odd.
I mean, I don't know that anyone
commented.
Yeah, I didn't have time to
We're not the ones that did the investigation.
I didn't question anyone.
I was just trying to... there at the incident.
I was simply trying to secure the necklace.
Thank you for that, by the way.
Nothing like facing down guards.
There's also one more thing that I should probably mention before you all find out and yell at me.
Oh, I love this thought.
You covered, didn't you?
I wouldn't... I'll let you determine.
Potentially, then.
When the midget was talking...
Levitt's gonna have his head in his hands for this.
I might have slipped that I was doing... I was on a job. I may or may not have said that.
You were posing as nobility. Why would you have a job?
I told him my job was to stay out of the way. And we might or may not have been standing directly next to our boss.
Oh. Well, that explains somewhat cold reception that we received at the end of the party. I'm sure it will be fine and there will be no negative repercussions.
No.
I can think of at least 6.
I'm thinking of at least 10.
I was only thinking of 1, that our cover was blown.
What
are you guys thinking?
No, cover is blown is sort of the headline behind the domino effects that carry on after that.
Wait, hold on. And he'll look right at us. How many of your things involve stabbing me?
She just
if any of them
at
involve
him.
the word
out of 10.
If any of them involve the word scapegoat, I would assume most.
We know I can escape places.
Can you?
I was rusty. But I'm not the topic of conversation. We need to figure out how to, get this thing or get this, midget.
Levitt's going to take his head out of his hands and simply start rubbing his wrists in front of Fennec.
You have a migraine?
No, rubbing his wrists.
No, I know. Fennec is saying like he's rubbing out a pressure point.
No,
he'll lean over to Gary. He has that look. I'm in trouble.
I assumed as much. Anyway, I guess my question now is, what are we going to be doing? I mean, obviously, I kind of like look motion wildly at the bar. I'm like, obviously, I mean, day's winding down. There's really nothing to do right now, and we have the next day to ourselves. Is there anything anyone needs to get done before we head over to Diorion's abode?
I'm going to call it done for work for the evening, and I am simply going to get drunk.
That's a good plan. I guess I'll pick up the tab on this one, and I'm going to stand up and walk towards the bar.
Alrighty. As you approach the bar, you are approaching a human bartender. Oh, what can I get for you?
Your cheapest, strongest ale. Whatever you got.
Cheapest, strongest, eh? You sure? It's been known to put hair on people's chests.
What about their heads?
That just makes me want it even more. Let's see it.
Alrighty. And he's going to take out a large cask. And he's going to have 3 large mugs out. And the scent as he pulls the cork out is very pungent and fruity, as if it is a distilled and aged moonshine. And he is pouring it in, and it smells more, it's a plum moonshine. And he's going to pour, how many mugs are you asking for?
5. 1 for everyone.
All right. He's going to pour.
So he's serving paint dinner. Wonderful. I decline, thank you.
All right, 4 then. I lean over and kind of sniff it and just look at the bartender. I swear if my eyebrows weren't already fire, they would have already gone up.
Is that an insult or a compliment? I need to know what I'm going to say next.
Take it as you will.
All right, enjoy. That's going to cost you 1 gold piece.
All right. I put 1 down.
And he's going to take it, and he's going to go back to serving other people drinks without another word.
All right. Then I carry all 4 mugs back down, place them on the table. All right. Well, this is almost certainly going to put most of us comatose, and certainly put Fennec comatose.
Wait, what did you order?
Good question. And I just start drinking it.
He ordered paint stripper.
Now, who's painting a stripper?
Yep.
Does Levin know if this is a licensed tavern under House Galanda?
Sure.
You haven't asked, but it seems somewhat official.
He's gonna take another sniff of that beverage. He's gonna take another sniff of that beverage.
In the tavern keeper's defense, he did ask for the cheapest and strongest.
Well, that's the funny thing, because like the cheapest qualifier, it's like, wait, this is if this is a licensed tavern, there are certain standards.
It's not gonna kill you, but anybody who's drinking, go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw.
Yay!
Yeah, Levin's gonna weigh down the response.
The DC's a 12.
12, you say?
12, I say.
Got a 7.
Yeah, I'm not going to try to write anything out of my Constitution save.
Am I on the right character? Yep.
Alright, let me see what you guys got. Alright, so Gearfried. Alright, Fennec. Fennec, you taste... Once you get past the heat and the feel of the alcohol, the purity of the alcohol going through your system, you are able to taste distinct notes of plum and a strawberry flavor. But it is much more overpowered, as moonshine often is, by the burn of the alcohol as it goes down. Gearfried, you taste the plum and the strawberry, but you also taste the top of your mouth. So you got that cotton mouth going. Your perception is skewed, and it's not a bad drunk. It's almost like you're elated in a sense. It's like if you were that happy drunk, not that angry drunk, in a sense.
That
So it's
is some good stuff.
Everything is sunshine and butterflies at this moment.
Going to murder someone.
That's really good.
Mm.
Well, is
Really
there a? I suppose there's an empty lot anywhere in road. I am rather upset that I did not get to shoot anything because I have an interesting gadget with this armor that I made that I would really love to test out. Never got a chance to. Is there like an empty lot anywhere in the city where I can skeet shoot something?
No. It's a city.
I know something we can shoot.
This is road. They have a high security presence, and it is
High.
past sundown.
I know
Unless-
something we can shoot.
If you're lucky, they'll exile you.
And since you'll be doing it whilst inebriated, they will most likely jail you.
And then kill you.
Not so much. If he didn't harm person but property, he might simply just be an indentured servant.
Several years.
Times like this, I miss the spires. Alright, well, I'm gonna go to bed because this is a very, very warm and fuzzy drunk, and I would like to just get some shut eye now. Gearfried steps up and stumbles toward the staircase.
Alrighty.
And he also starts mumbling in Dwarvish as he does.
What are you saying in Dwarvish?
I think Gearfried would just kind of like default language, like every time he like kind of bumps into someone and just like, something like, "Oh, sorry, excuse me, pardon me," just like that, but in Dwarvish.
Fennec, you have very negative feelings towards dwarves. Would you be able to recognize the Dwarvish language, if not understand it?
You wouldn't understand it. But I mean, he knows that Gearfried is associated and is in good terms with dwarves. He wouldn't really react.
Okay.
Because they've had him and Gearfried have had this conversation.
Yeah.
So like if he hears I'm speaking Dwarvish, he'll like do like a
Yeah, you
like,
guys
he
all
won't-
talk.
Yeah, he won't make a big deal out of it.
Okay. Levin, you still have your drink in front of you. What are your thoughts?
Levin is going to hazard a sip and just to get a heads up on like any particular notes for tasting, but most likely he'll nurse this particular beverage after seeing the response from the rest.
Okay.
Take his time with it.
All right. You notice that as you attempt to take your time with it, it is a harsh drink, and it does take several sips before you're able to appreciate the subtlety of it. And then you kind of get a feel of the different notes of the plum. You'd be able to get a distinct flavor from the plum. So it's almost like it's from a specific type. And then you would notice that there's more than just strawberry. You get a hint of raspberry in there as well.
Cautiously, he's going to settle his drink down and go get a glass of water to have with this, because now he's curious.
Okay. You would be able to get yourself water. It's going to cost you 1 silver piece.
A little high priced, but whatever, it's tavern.
All right. So you have your glass of water. Cyrus, you are kind of watching this whole ordeal, bless you. And you are
Thank you.
looking on. You see that Gearfried got quite tipsy quite quick. You see Levin nursing his drink. You see Fennec kind of laughing it off, but he's also kind of commenting, because I'm not ignoring you, the fact that he had mentioned that he knows where to shoot. So go ahead, Fennec, real quick. Where was it? What was it you were trying to say? What do you know, or where do you know to shoot?
Was Gearfried already gone?
Yeah, I'm gone. I'm serious at this point.
Yeah, but he was answering Gearfried.
Oh, okay.
So if nobody's gonna, not that like people are ignoring Fennec, but like if no one acknowledged it, he's not gonna, because it was directly speaking to Gearfried's comment of wanting to shoot something.
Okay. Gotcha. So Sarah,
And I did say something.
yes. That's why I was kind of curious.
Mm.
I wanted to see if we were going to go back to that.
I mean, you're probably dead on, but I phrased it purposely something.
What is it you would like to be doing, Cyrus?
She'll go back to her room.
Alrighty. Maylee would be accompanying you back to the room. She has not touched any alcohol yet.
You know, it's all right to have fun, just not. Alcohol has proven problematic for me in the past.
I am not much of a drinker.
It's probably for the best.
And with that, she would be accompanying you back to the room. Gearfried, you two have gone to sleep. So that leaves Fennec and Levin still conscious. What would you two be doing?
Well, you were right there.
What?
Are you all right?
Yeah, no, that drink was strong, but nothing I can't handle.
Just be sure to have some water before you turn in.
Oh yes. But about earlier, I didn't mean to blow our cover.
We've yet to see if you've blown all of our cover, and by the way you say it, it seems you might have made a personal slip as opposed to costing the group.
Actually, now that I think about it, yes, because I didn't really associate with you.
You noticed that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I know when people are avoiding me.
Not so much avoiding you, just I was attending to other things.
Yeah, no, we had a job. Everyone had their job, and we did it. But I definitely wanted to take Gearfried's new little toy and shoot that little midget.
If your suspicions hold true, then you'll likely have an opportunity anyway.
Oh, I hope so. What are your thoughts on the situation? What do you think of what's happening?
I've already expressed them. Cyrus is of the opinion that this may simply be a robbery. A lot of you are of the idea that the halfling individual is there for other means, possibly as an in with the mistress. And I'm thinking along the lines of politics, because that's what I did in Sharn. I'm a private investigator.
You ever seen anything like this?
with regards to the dragon-marked houses in specific for a potential robbery, no. But tensions between the houses, this is a trivial way of setting up some sort of conflict that usually gets resolved in cash exchanging hands.
So, what made you leave that line of work and join up with a bunch of ragtags like us?
Well,
Sounds
that's an
like
easy
you were
question.
really good at what you do. It sounds like you were really good at what you do.
I wouldn't say good. Mostly just enough to keep myself fed and a modest dwelling. I had an apartment.
Mrs.?
No, I've not the time in my life for that right now.
Well, I know I don't show it often, but glad you're here. Me personally.
Well, to put it as softly as I can, it has been an experience working with you.
Hey, I'll take an experience. I've been called worse.
Some of it's been good, some of it's been bad. That's the point of it, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. If everything was perfect and went the way we wanted it, life would be too boring. So I like to spice things up.
I've observed that. I've even told you that it was okay for you to lean into that.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to be mindful of other people more so than you've been.
I can only say I can certainly try.
That's all I asked. That said, at this point, like, how is Fennec looking with the alcohol? Has he gone for another?
One.
Yeah, but have you gone for another?
Nope. Because Gearfried went to bed. Gearfried paid for the drink.
Levin's gonna slide his beverage, barely drunk, over to you.
Okay.
I think I'm good for the evening on this one. I'll keep watch to make sure that nothing happens to you and make sure you get to your room, but I think I'm done.
I will happily take this off your hands so that it does not go to waste.
I appreciate it, but take your time with this one.
It's already up.
Very little time is also taking time, just...
Was it a shot or like a beer?
It's what you just had, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So go ahead and give me another Constitution saving throw. Because it's the second, the DC is now at 14.
Okay, well that's a natural 20. Plus 5.
It goes down. Smoother than the first.
Ooh, I think I'm getting used to this stuff. Nice. Fruity tinge to it. Like
Don't make it a habit. Don't make it a habit. It tends to be an expensive one if it catches you.
Nah, I don't make a habit of. I don't deal with bad habits. And with that, he's gonna walk off to bed. Or he doesn't deal in bad habits. Fennec's self-awareness is on.
Sure.
Levin's gonna wait until he
Certainly
heads...
self-sure.
Levin's gonna wait until he disappears upstairs.
Yep, he's out. That's right.
Levin will wait there for a couple of minutes. Finish his water. Get up and go outside for a smoke along the side of the building where our rooms are kept. Pretty much underneath the windows.
Okay. And you are out there, you are able to enjoy yourself. You are officially off the clock, which is why it's so monumental that you are having a smoke. It's been a bit of time.
It has. but mostly he's mulling over the events of the evening and just trying to process the information and work whatever individual angles there may or may not be. Not enough info to go on. He's gonna finish the cigarette, huff, and head to his room.
Alrighty. You can all now officially mark off a long rest. Unless anybody has anything specifically they want to do on the overnight, which you can now kind of interrupt me to take care of as you see fit. Going once, going twice. So, this is now the next morning. The sun is rising, the weather is fairly nice. You do have today before to yourselves to gather whatever it is you want to do for the day, or any materials you may need, or just wander around the city aimlessly, depending on your desire. The next day, though, you are expected to meet before the departure of your employer, the head of the House Orion within Rope. Who's it would be the earliest riser?
More than likely, Levin.
Alrighty. So, Levin, as you make your approach in the morning, you exit your room unless there's anything specifically you would like to do before you make your way downstairs for the morning. You arrive first.
There are two things Levin will do. First is go on his morning run. And he's gonna let his morning run take him over into the area where about how far away was the Orient house? At a brisk jog.
About 3 miles away, 4 miles away, give or take.
Alright, so about 15 or so minutes. And that's if he's doing a walk. Yeah, he'll jog in that area, take his breaks, and he'll basically people watch for a bit. Because he's listening for just ambient information in the area. He'll come back to this place later to do scouting. But just taking the environment, taking how the people move around it.
If you would like, you can give me a perception check.
Alrighty. $16.
So overall, you notice that it is in the wealthier district, so the people that you see are more in the lines of those of wealth and means. People who are striding elegantly down the street, their dogs wearing vests or other sorts of garments to match the season and the weather. You would see children in dressed up attire looking like miniature adults. What you don't see as you enter this area is, what would you be wearing as you're running?
Basic shirt, pants, like loose fitting, because it's what I have underneath my robes. So it's just something I could sweat in and not feel bad tossing to the side if I need to.
In this area...
Like, it's clean, but it doesn't look nice.
In this area, dressed in that type of attire, you stand out like a sore thumb.
Well, if it's early in the morning, of course I would.
Well, particularly just the garb that you're wearing, if that is the common place where they are in more fancy garments. The quality of the clothing you're wearing is what's causing you to stand out, not the early hour.
That's fine. He's not bothered by standing out amongst these people, because they're more than likely not going to interact with him on a regular. Mm-hmm. But if some authoritative figure decides to have a presence. Levin will politely greet them, explain that he's on his morning run, and then pretty much request to continue on his way and continue his run.
Yep. And you aren't stopped by any officials, but you are the subject of many a conversation from these, for lack of a better term, wasps that you pass.
Wrote Anglo-Saxon Protestants?
Yep, pretty much. Yes, in a polytheistic world, 100%. But after the course, you are able to make your way back to the tavern, unless you have any specific areas you'd like to go to within Road.
Nah, not for the run. Basically, just taking an hour, doing a run, getting a couple of breaks in between of like 5 minutes or so.
Alrighty.
That's it.
Who else would be waking up about an hour after, or what would the order of people waking up be?
That'd be
Feel
not
like you're
too far.
probably-
So I hear Gearfried and Fennec. So we're going to say that you guys kind of exit your rooms at about the same point in time.
Are we hungover or anything?
I'm going to say Fennec is not. You have a slight headache. Not a hungover migraine where everything's groggy, but it's one of those that you do feel the throbbing of the headache, like kind of right in the forehead.
Quick, that
Alright.
fire's dehydrated.
In that case, my hair will be a little bit wilder than normal. Gearfried walks out, just kind of rubbing his temple. Ah, all right. That was probably not the best decision. It was a lot stronger than I thought it would be.
What? Really?
Morning, Fennec.
Fine.
Yeah.
I had another one when you went to bed.
You mad? Jeez, I haven't had. Man, I don't remember the last time I've actually had any semblance of a hangover was. Actually, I do. It was the first time my brother made me drink. Ah, God, this hurts. All right, well, I'm wearing my my normal armor. I always get a little bit antsy when I'm drinking, so I'm glad that the others stopped me from doing something stupid. I remember enough to remember that I wanted to shoot something.
We should talk about that.
Yeah, so you had an idea about that.
Mm-hmm. I did. I still do.
Well, it may
But
have.
I don't want to discuss it here. People might be listening.
Well, I'm interested in hearing it, but that's only specific to that piece of equipment that I was wearing. And I kind of like motion to myself. I'm wearing my normal plate.
Okay.
That's the infiltrator version of the armor. I'm back to defense. Should we need it? Go.
I mean, if you're not pressed on shooting something with the armor, my idea still is valid.
We'll talk.
Just picture something about, yay tall, and he's kind of like right at his own head, like this tall, runs his mouth, really annoying, just doesn't know when to stop talking.
I'm not shooting the bard.
Nope, wasn't talking about the bard.
Oh, I'm not.
Green.
I'm interested. I am interested in shooting the halfling.
There you go.
We might get our chance yet. I have a feeling that he's going to make a play for that necklace.
And I can't wait.
I've actually been thinking about ways that we could mitigate any situation that might arise in that. I give like a sharp whistle, and then Cogfried kind of pops on my shoulder and just flies in from my room. I don't have any means by which to communicate with everyone telepathically or anything like that. I'm not that skilled quite yet, but I can have Cogfried here, and I pull out a rock, just normal rock. I can't have him fly around any property with this, and I give it to Cogfried, puts it in his mouth. He like squeezes on it, and there's just like a little beep that pops out of the rock. Just a simple like note from my thing that allows, like the thing I did to Yami's hat.
Hmm.
Worst case scenario, I can have him fly around carrying that. If whatever room this necklace is in is attacked, I can have him not necessarily stand guards alone, but if we're all going to be taking shifts watching it, I imagine this. I mean, we've been to that mansion; it's pretty big. If whoever's on shift needs to alert everyone else, we can have Cogfrey do that for us.
Ooh. Helpful.
Granted, and I take the stone and then I just kind of like remove the little enchantment to it. Granted, I would probably do something a little bit louder. That was just for demonstrative purposes. Either way, what's on your plate today?
Nothing. Cause as little trouble as possible.
As you're having this conversation in the hallway, you're going to hear Mei Li kind of shout out, "Do you have to do this in the hallway?"
Sorry, love. That's
No,
good.
I mean,
Was she talking to us or talking to...
She's talking to you guys. She's trying to sleep.
Apologies. Let's go downstairs before we piss off the ladies.
so is the door shut or open?
Door's shut. You guys were just talking loudly. Nobody said you were.
Like, are we like standing in front of the door?
You guys are basically around the same area, so there would be rooms on either side, and you guys would have a room apiece, so you would have the equivalent of 5 rooms. So if you guys left at the same time, and then we're having this conversation, the ladies would be in the same room right across the hallway.
Okay. So after she says that and Gearfried walks off,
Oh boy.
Fennec's gonna be Fennec. And he's gonna walk like a few steps closer to the door, not opening it. We know what happens then. he is just gonna go. He's gonna like. I'm not gonna yell because my 2 kids are sleeping, but he is going to yell, "So sorry to have woken you up from your beauty sleep."
The door flies open.
Which way?
Doors swing inward.
Okay, that's good.
The door swings inward, and you see Sarah standing there, and she has a crossbow pointed at your head.
And you were gonna see like Wile E. Coyote feet, just.
You're going to see Mei Li kind of look sheepishly towards you. "I'm sorry, they woke me up. I shouldn't have said anything."
It's all right. I like it when he's a little afraid.
In my notes, don't wake Saris up.
I think that's good life advice.
Besides, I need to sleep less than he does, so he's about to learn a valuable lesson on the pleasures of sleep and when they're lacking.
Was her finger on the trigger?
Shrug emoji.
Infer what you will from that.
So would Gearfried just be walking down the stairs followed by a scared cat Fennec just stumbling down past him?
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yep.
His green skin might be slightly yellowish. I guess that would be the way that he would turn pale in that sense. As that crossbow bolt. There you go, that nice yellow green. Yoda green.
This is literally what he looks like right now.
Hey, I called it right.
He aged a minute.
I could have told you that was going to be a bad idea.
I forgot they room together.
Yeah, she is. I've been meaning to ask about that. I'm still a little bit not sure of that whole dynamic there. I need to gonna have to have a little chat with Melee, since I don't think I'm gonna get any blood from the stone that is Ceres.
You work Melee, I'll work Ceres. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
I like this little partnership we have.
A mutually beneficial relationship, as all business tends to be.
Oh yeah, strictly business.
All right.
Speaking of business and partnerships and all that, where's Yami?
He was a bit quiet earlier. I think he's a bit down on himself for the whole hat tipping thing, and there was all that from last night.
Oh, you mean the ting ting?
Yeah, I think I might have to take that back for a little bit.
I think that's a wise choice, because if we don't, I don't think I'm going to be the only one staring down a crossbolt shaft.
That is very certainly possible. It's probably for his own interest that I take that from him, because Ceres might literally kill him.
No.
With that, Ceres,
Would I have returned during this particular exchange between the two?
I'm going to say yes, you would be entering the scene with them. Ceres, how much longer would you be sleeping?
Ceres probably wasn't asleep. She just needs the 4 hours of reverie. When she closes the door and looks back at me, it's like, by the way, why don't you just go into reverie? Why do you sleep?
It's quite peaceful.
It leaves you vulnerable.
Well, we're in a hotel room. We're in a tavern. It's somewhat safe.
Right.
It's not like we're in the woods.
Oh, right. No, nothing's changed in terms of safety.
Well, that hasn't been my experience, but I could be incorrect.
Her mouth opens, then closes. It's a lesson you really only have to learn through experience, I suppose. I hope you don't.
But about how much longer would it take for you to go downstairs?
She's not going downstairs. Once she gets dressed, she's going out the window.
All right. We'll get back to that in a... Oh.
Yeah. She'll just turn around and be like, don't let, anyone asks where I am, I'm still up here working off I'm very sleepy. I'm sleeping in, if anyone asks.
Understood. Where are you going?
She smiles, then dips out the window.
So Melee would end up waiting about a half hour before she goes back down. With that, Levin, you would be rejoining the group downstairs. You would see the yellowish complexion of Fennec after his near-death experience.
Morning routine, I take it?
You could say that. There's a rowdy guess that, deranged, shoot first, ask questions later kind of person.
Who did you anger?
I'd rather not say.
Was her finger on the trigger?
I didn't stick around long enough to look.
At least you're learning.
He's gonna give a shrug.
Oh, if you'll excuse me, and Levin's gonna start heading upstairs to finish his routine.
Whatever you do, he's gonna as he walks wait. Don't knock on the girl's door. They're still sleeping.
They're both elves.
You've been warned.
Right. And he's going to continue upstairs.
I know this. Does Gearfried know that Meili's an elf? I feel like that might have been the first time he's heard that.
Yes. Well, you would have
She's
seen
as much
the
elf. She's as much elf as Seth, his dwarf.
You would notice that she does have the elongated ears. Unless you asked her directly, you can infer that she's an elf. But yes, she is an elf.
Yeah, I mean, I know she is, but I didn't know if Gearfried knew.
I would say you can assume she's either a elf or a half elf, but the ears are damn near predominant. Originally, when you first met her, the hair was covering it, but once her hair was pulled back into a ponytail, it would have been easy to identify that.
Okay, gotcha. All right, gotcha. All right, has she come down yet?
She would be coming down as Levin is going up, so they would kind of cross paths in the hallway.
In that case, I would have just a question for Meili. Is she all right?
Yeah, she's just tired.
The two of you turned in early, are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. She was sleeping when I left.
Levin's gonna cock his head and make it obvious that he doesn't believe this for a second. Sleep. Right.
Unless you would like to insight, you notice that her face is stoic and honest looking. It does not appear as if she's lying.
Oh, I don't.
Oh, no. He doesn't... He's not trying to ascertain whether or not he's lying. He already doesn't believe the statement.
Okay. I was just specifying, like, there's no real tells. Like,
No, I'm not trying to read more information into it.
Okay.
It's obvious that Levin is like, okay, fine, if that's your statement, continue on.
Fair enough.
And he's going to go to his room, open his door, and open the windows just to let the air out, because, he's exercising. He doesn't want to stink the place up. And he's just going to continue his routine.
Alrighty. So, Severus, where would you be going during this time?
Is as she's walking away, like, is our window facing a street or an alley?
The street.
Okay, she would have walked around the block until she could duck into an alley.
Okay.
And as she went through the alley, she would have cast Disguise Self, turned herself into let's say like a young scrawny shifter lad.
Okay.
He's got like slightly like half elven ears, but they're like tufted with a little bit of fur, and he's a little bit of like chin fuzz and like amber cat eyes. She just like changes her walk up a bit as she walks around, and he doesn't look necessarily like beggar, but they definitely gives him the appearance of, on the rougher side of the socioeconomic scale.
Okay.
And then she's gonna circle back around and walk into the door and just like look around confused. It's like, excuse me, hello? Excuse me, is there a Sir Fenric in the establishment?
So, Fennec, you see this shifter who is adapting half-elvish appendages, and you hear initially your name being said, along with other mispronunciations. How do you react?
He'll look at Gearfried. Are we really expecting people?
I'm not expecting anyone.
Nor am I.
Leave
But
it be.
this one, he'll kind of like shake his, like nod his head.
But look,
You, sir.
you. In all fairness, you did blow your cover last night. It would not be out of the realm of possibility that someone has sent someone to kill you. I'm just saying, it's certainly possible.
You're right.
Especially that short bastard.
Okay, so we should not answer.
Definitely not.
So, Fulric? Fenris? Ferric. Oh, why can't I remember the name? Hello?
Gearfried will stand up and walk towards this individual.
They will, like, look at you. Sir Ferric? Felwick. Fuckwick.
Sir, I believe you're looking for a compatriot of mine. He actually just left. Can I take a message for you?
Oh, bugger. Okay. Right. Oh, yeah, I just have to deliver a message. He wants to talk to... He said... Fennec, right? You said Fennec. Fennec's the right one. The right name. So if Sir Fennec wants to meet him, he can meet him. It's like looking up, it's like trying to remember the phrase. Meet him later in the city park.
Can Gearfried roll an insight check? Because he never said Fennec's name.
I was going to say, he never said it.
Yeah.
I would say, Ceres, what are your thoughts on that? Would you like PvP?
I mean, do you want me to roll deception? I'll roll deception.
All right, so go ahead and give me a deception versus an insight.
But would it be deception? Because she said Fennec's name, but Gearfried never said his name.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
So what would she be deceiving?
Hold on, she did say Fennec's name multiple times because she was just confusing the name. So it's not the first time she had mentioned Fennec specifically.
It's a matter of how well she sells it, whether you buy into her.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
You have a chance.
I rolled a nat 20.
Okay. I rolled a 4.
So a high chance.
I had a chance of...
It didn't show up. My thing's not showing up here, but yeah, I did have. I can take a picture of it. I had a nat 20 right here.
I believe you. That's fine.
Sorry, I reconnected my
It's
thing when I.
better
Just
this
remember,
way, honestly.
Insight's not mind reading. Deception is not mind control.
Yeah. I'm not reading her mind, but like, there is definitely something.
It's on the log.
Exactly. It seems suspicious, but
Right. But no, he's at the park, bench on the south side along the trail.
Right. Well,
Trucks. You also said you'd be tipping me? Holds out a hand.
Tell you what, I'll give you a very important tip. You should never work for wages that are only promised to you by other people. Have you not got a union?
I don't know what that is. I
have a lot of things I should be telling you right now. You see, collective bargaining is a practice that I'm actually quite familiar with. You should never work if you're not promised a livable wage, right? You should make sure that you are always paid what you need to live. You shouldn't rely on Gearfried just can like continue on.
And they're nodding with you, listening the whole time. Corrective bargaining, right? Got it. Who am I correcting?
Yeah,
Why am I bargaining?
Gearfried will earnestly answer all the questions and also like try to attempt to bore this person because he's like suspicious of whoever this is.
They
Until,
will
then-
sit in rapt attention for almost an hour.
This is like describing the proletariat under conditions of capitalism as an exploited class.
Yes.
Oh, I have other messages to deliver. I'm sorry, Mr. Garnfried. But thank you for the valuable lessons on corrective bargaining.
Collective bargaining, but yes. Anyway, be off with you, and then Gearfried will just walk over back to Fennec, who I don't know if you're even still there after this hour.
During that hour's exchange is when Mei Li would have entered, so she would have been listening to this entire thing as she has her own cup of coffee, and she ordered herself a nice breakfast platter as she's eating and listening and watching this with a face of interest, though in her eyes there's that twinkle of realizing the humor of the situation.
Good times. But yeah, then the shifter lad will leave.
With that, what would you be doing? Anything specifically once you leave the tavern?
Just gonna wander around town a little bit. Scope out a park bench on the south side of the trail. And wait.
Alrighty, so Fennec, you received this strange message from this strange individual telling you to meet at the park. What are you gonna do?
The youths are Fennec.
Wait, Gearfried never told him that though.
He kind of heard it.
He was there.
Oh, okay.
She wasn't. The message wasn't delivered in a quiet and subtle manner.
Right.
The person who walks into the door and just starts yelling for a name.
Fennec is going to go consult with Levin before he goes.
Okay, so as Levin is finishing his workout, he hears a quick knock on the door.
Yes?
When you have a minute.
Oh, right. He's gonna put a shirt on. He's gonna go and answer the door. Yes, Fennec.
So something just happened. Gearfried and I were downstairs, and someone came in to the tavern asking for Sir Fennec and wants to meet at the park.
Congratulations, you've managed to get attention to yourself.
And that is why I am coming to you, because I do not want that.
You don't want the attention.
Well, it was a little weird because they kept saying random names almost as if they didn't know who I was, and then confirmed my name when Gearfried never said it.
All right, so that could be a lapse in memory and simply just locking onto a random name.
So they didn't know I was here. They left a message.
Do you know under what time frame people have been calling you Sir Fennec in public?
There hasn't been.
And the person that was delivering this message, they didn't give a description?
Nope. It was, would Fennec have known it was in, like, elven, half-elven?
You know what a
It's a
shifter
shift.
is.
It was a shifter.
Yeah, it was a...
They had pointed ears like an elf.
Okay. It was a shifter, I believe.
All right. Well, they tend to be less educated, but useful as runners. What is it that you want me to do?
I don't know. I just thought I would share, and usually you can pick up if it's a bad idea for me to do something or a good idea. Usually bad.
You can take care of yourself. There's something violent going on, but what are you supposed to do with this information? Meet up with someone?
Apparently.
At what time?
I don't think there was a time given.
How are they expecting you to show up at a location without a time frame?
Great question.
That could be 5 minutes from now or 5 days from now. That's useless.
Mm-hmm. Was there a time frame given on when to meet them?
Nope.
Okay. Yep. Nope. Nothing.
Well,
just was told to have him meet at the park.
think of it this way. If you're suspicious about the message, then you're going to have to go into this with the idea that it's a trap. Under that assumption, if you could think of the worst possible situation, you can plan around it and go in confident that you can at least handle whatever you're prepared for. Is there anything else?
Nope.
Thank you. If you need anything else, I'll be here.
Okay, I'll be at the park.
Do inform at least someone else in the group that you're going.
Oh, Geoffrey's coming with me.
So you are taking backup. All right.
Mm-hmm. Well, can't find Yami, so gotta take somebody. And I don't know where Saris went.
I believe he was taking time from overdoing it for the last night.
And as a quick correction, you don't know that Ceres has left. As far as you're concerned, she's napping.
Right. Correct.
Yeah.
Saris is napping, so I'm gonna let her sleep for very obvious reasons. I'm gonna take you.
Okay. Well, whenever you get back down and talk to Gearfried,
All right, we're going to the park.
You're actually going to talk to the shifter lad.
I'm curious.
All right. Well, good thing for us, I prepped my invisibility today.
Ooh. I didn't prep anything, but
All right.
I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
We could die.
On that exact note, we're going to shift ahead where you guys are making your way to the park. Ceres, you have no idea what time to expect them. What are you doing?
Yep. Well, when I found the southernmost bench along the trail in the park, what was there any trees or shrubs or any kind of cover nearby within 30 or 40 feet?
I'd say yes, there is cover that you would be able to take if you needed to.
Okay. I will move into step into the cover. And is there a tree or two?
There would be a tree.
A climbable tree?
Yep.
Cool. I will climb into the tree.
You have a somewhat densely wooded area, however small it is, right behind you, where you were sitting on the bench.
So I'm going to climb into the tree where I assume no one will assume to look, in a city at least. And I'm going to be very quiet and stealthy until Fennec arrives.
Go ahead and give me a stealth check.
Huzzah. And...
should that be a private roll?
do you want it to be?
You can make it a private roll.
Okay. There we go. And I will give myself guidance.
Okay. Very nice. You are very well hidden.
I like to think so.
With that, Fennec and Gearfried, you make your way towards where Cyrus is hidden in the tree. You don't see
Yes.
anybody specifically waiting for you.
I would say about 10, or how far away is this area that we're going?
The closest park would have been about a mile or two away. Where
About-
she is about 10 to 15 minutes into the park.
Well, about before we had gotten there, about by the time we got halfway, Gearfree would have popped invisibility.
Okay.
So I'll mark down a 2nd level spell. Boom. And Gearfried will also have Cogfried go onto Fennec's shoulder.
Okay.
All right, that's Cogfried will be on you just in case things get hairy. I can empower you with a couple of spells. You know, we don't know what to expect here. I'll keep watch from close by. Hopefully, whoever this is can't see invisible things, and yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry. Confidence. Feel like we'll be fine.
Oh yeah. So as Gearfried would move away or go, Fennec will actively look around the area for anything.
All right, go ahead and give me a perception check.
That is a 12.
Nothing seems out of place. You're not able to notice anything suspicious.
Okay. Is there any park benches that he can go sit on and wait?
There is a park bench right under a precariously hanging tree branch.
Okay. You will go over and sit there.
Okay. So very hesitant. Cyrus, you would see that Fennec is here in this area, and only Fennec with Cogfried on his shoulder. He is sitting right under the tree at the bench where you originally sat down before you hid yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What's your next move?
Well, seeing Cogfried, her eyes narrow. She looks around a little bit. And then she too casts invisibility.
This is gonna turn to spy versus spy, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So you are invisible. Go ahead and give me I'm assuming there's a verbal component to invisibility, correct?
Yep. Wait, no.
Yes, there is.
Are you
It's
attempting
VSM.
to hide your casting?
It's also concentration.
Almost definitely.
Go ahead and either give me a stealth or a sleight of hand check. More accurately, I'm going to limit that more. Give me another stealth check.
Okay.
And this is going to be against Fennec and Gearfried's passive perception.
You don't even need to roll.
Not super high.
Alrighty.
Fennec's passive perception is 10.
Neither
That's
of
11.
you notice that a spell is cast very close to you.
Wait, what's
As-
Cogfried's passive perception?
I was going to say, would Cogfried have picked up on anything?
He does have a passive. Cogfried, let's see it.
Should be a +4.
Let's see here.
Is it?
Perception's based off wisdom, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, but the homunculus servant might have its own skills.
Yeah, so his wisdom is 10, but here it says that the following numbers increase by 1 when your proficiency bonus increases by 1. The homunculus' skill and saving throw bonuses and bonus hit to damage attack. So would that mean it uses my intelligence modifier for all of its bonuses, or just for its skills?
1 second. You're talking of specifically a spell? Or is this an infusion, or?
I think he's just trying to figure out perception.
It's my homunculus' servant, which is infusion. It says under its Might of the Master description, the following numbers increase by 1 when your proficiency bonus increases by 1. The homunculus is skill and saving. Oh no, sorry. So it's just skill and saving throw bonuses. So unless this is a saving throw, so no, his passive perception is +0. So that'd probably just be what is wisdom's a 10.
We're gonna say it would just be a 10 then. So
Yeah, he would know.
None of you notice. Ceres, you have been.
Sorry, continue.
You have made yourself invisible without anybody noticing. What is your next move?
I will ever so quietly walk up behind Fennec and quietly draw a dagger and hold it out. I'm not gonna I don't want to accidentally stab him in case he gets jumpy. But I'm going to put the blunt end of the pommel against his neck and then whisper in his ear, I can do this to you every night.
Fennec, you feel the cold, metallic, blunt edge of her dagger pressed against you. You hear this frightening whisper of, I can do this every night. How do you react?
Never yell in the hallway again.
So I started blasting.
Oh boy.
Instantly with that, he is immediately as this is happening and the dagger touches him and not even allowing her to finish the sentence. As soon as he hears the voice, he is casting darkness around himself.
Okay. So a large cloud of darkness erupts, drawing the attention of those passerbyers walking amongst the park. You hear whispers of interesting magics being cast.
Isn't magic illegal here?
It is. It's highly regulated, if not illegal.
It's not expressly illegal, but you are considered now creating a public disturbance.
At least in
I think it's acting
15-foot
in
range.
self-defense.
Which is your defense.
Yes.
That's okay. I'm just creating the world here.
Yep.
Cause and effect, you know?
It's all good.
Yes,
So
but
with
can Ceres see in this darkness?
She's still invisible.
I was going to say, Ceres also doesn't have true sight, and darkness would eliminate all sight unless you have true sight.
Or
Not for Fennec
devil
because
sight. Or blind sight.
Magical darkness, only the magical darkness created by the darkness spell is specified to not have dark vision work against it. Most other forms of magical darkness don't have that problem.
But this is the darkness spell, so...
Correct.
This is the darkness spell.
I'm just clarifying.
No, she
It
cannot
being
see.
magical in nature doesn't automatically make it work against dark vision.
Yes, as a creature with dark vision can't see through this, but Fennec can because he's casting it through his shadow sorcery, so he gains eyes of darkness. So since he can see through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's still alone in the dark as far as he can see.
Pretty
With a
much.
dagger very close to him.
This was
And
only the
now-
first spell.
You have also obstructed Gearfried's sight from you, and Cogfried. So,
True.
what would you like to do next?
With that, Fennec's gonna run out of the darkness.
Cogbreed's on your shoulder still.
Cyrus, are you going to attempt to stop him in any way?
No,
Okay.
I
so
will. What? I'll probably hear. Do I hear him run away? Like,
You would feel him pull away from you, and unless you stop him, he's just going to start. So you would hear the pitter patter of his footsteps as he walks or runs away from the area.
she will quietly stand up, put her dagger away, walk off in the other direction.
Does Gearfried wouldn't see any of that. Gearfried would probably linger for a few minutes before realizing, all right, nothing's happening, and then peace out.
But with that, you do start seeing people starting to gather around the spell of darkness.
Be there for 10 minutes if he doesn't do anything.
Oh,
Fennec,
nope.
would you
I
like
know what
to
I'm
do?
doing. I know what I'm doing.
What would you like to do, Fennec?
So he's not running far. He's just running out and kind of looking around to see if anything happens. So Sarah's is still invisible, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. And when she whispered in his ear, was it her voice?
Yes.
Within the darkness on the bench, Fennec is going to cast Minor Illusion in the shape of Ferris and drop darkness.
Oh, that's mean.
In
Okay.
the shape of who?
You.
Oh.
So as the spell of darkness dissipates, there is a still image of Ceres sitting on the bench.
Wait, you're using minor illusion for this?
Oh, let me see. Let me look up the specification.
It can cover a 5-foot cube.
But it requires an image of an object, not a creature.
Ah.
Does it?
I thought
Yeah,
you could do
you're
it.
thinking minor image.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep, I am.
So that doesn't.
Like silent image. That would be the spell to use here.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad.
I like the thought.
Um,
That was clever.
I like where your head's at, but it's a cantrip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Scratch that.
Like, you can illusion a crate around yourself as a way to hide. But you can't
Well, no, he's out in
illusion
the
somebody
middle of
sitting
the
on that
park.
crate.
Yep. And now
Yeah,
you do,
It's
as
a park.
said,
Dump outs happen.
You are drawing attention. What would you like to do? Are you going to remain, or are you going to start moving away?
He will start walking away, looking for Gearfried.
Gearfried will eventually. I mean, Gearfried. If Gearfried sees you walking away, Gearfried will saunter up invisibly and then just kind of like, give you like a little like tap on your shoulder.
Yes.
Then,
And-
over here. What happened? What's that about?
Is there what's with the invisible visible people need to stop sneaking up on me.
You saw me turn invisible. What's going on? What was that about?
Well, you're not the you're not the only one invisible around here.
Oh, that's what happened. Any insight? What's going on? What's happening? Who?
Oh, I have some insight.
Please share with the class, if you will.
Well, I think we were duped, and Sarah's is playing a little prank on us.
Well, that is honestly par for the course, but she will suffer consequences.
Like, rear your heads up.
I burn in invisibility for this shit.
I burn in like the darkness, the sphere is kind of like collapsing. It's like, that's a waste.
Yeah, we should probably leave. Let's go back to the Drake.
Yep. Let's not say anything. Let's let her think she has it.
Yeah. And we head back to the Drake.
Mhm.
Alrighty. With that, you are able to regroup with Melee. Levin, would you still be exercising at this point? Because it would have been at least...
No, of this time he would have, the window open, he would have had a chance to, like, wipe himself down. He would have basically been hanging at the window, having a smoke, and just watching the area in front. Just being casual until everyone gets back.
Alrighty. With that, we are going to just take a quick 5 to 10 minute break so that our actors can refresh their beverages and take a moment to themselves. While you're waiting for us, please feel free to check out the merchandise store and, purchase something to support us. Be right back.
While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com, and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com, and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms. Also, be sure to check us out on YouTube and Spotify. If you would like to support us, check us out on Patreon as well. All the links are able to be found on playersoftherealms.com. While you're there, check out our wonderful merchandise. We are in the process of adding more, so keep an eye out. Patreon subscribers receive a discount on all purchase, so while on the store it's more incentive to help support our wonderful cast. While our players take a brief break, check out playersoftherealms.com, and if you need dice and other things like that, check out dicelegion.com, and use product code POTR to get 10% off of your purchase while simultaneously supporting us here at Players of the Realms.
We are live, back, and ready to go. And Fennec, you are leaving the scene as this cloud of darkness kind of dissipates. Having been kind of scared to a sense, I might imagine, which is why you would have ran quickly before you would have recognized the voice of Ceres.
Yes.
And with this, it seems like Ceres has single-handedly declared a banquet upon the party. With that, we're going to just time skip ahead to where we are back to the tavern. We have Meili and Levin sitting at a table, when the rest of you are kind of coming in a staggered way. Ceres, I'm assuming you're going back up to your bedroom, or are you walking through the front door?
How far away, like in terms of time, how far away is our tavern from the park?
If you're walking at a normal pace, it's going to take you about a half hour. If you're moving at a more brisk pace, it'll take you about 15 minutes.
Cool. I will walk up, still invisible, just pull out the chair next to Meili and sit down. Well, that was interesting.
Did you have fun?
I think I will be soon.
Okay. I don't even want to know.
Enough. And, is there like a pitcher of water at the table?
I could say there would be.
One of the cups will just slide it, like an empty cup will like slide across, and then the pitcher will just tilt over and pour water into itself, into the cup. And then, like, the cup will get up and gets, like, you'll hear like light sips from the cup.
Not even missing a beat. Levin's gonna push some rolls that way.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
At this point, you would be having Fennec and Gearfried enter the scene.
I will say, before we enter the bar, Gearfried is going to kind of look up. Does he see the window that is where Ceres' room is?
You would, and you would notice that it's closed.
Gottfried.
Real quick, would you have been able to ascertain, because I would have left my window open.
So I'm gonna say,
because I was smoking and exercising. I would have left it open to air out.
Oh no!
And give me a perception check.
Choose life. Choose life.
Perception.
I'm not in the room.
No, I know what's gonna happen. I have an idea of what's gonna happen.
Natural fucking 20.
Well, you can't complain about not getting 20s anymore. 2 and a
Yeah.
good, not too bad. It's gonna be the last for like 3 sessions. But with that,
Yeah,
you
this
are
is
able
all
to
coming
get.
back to me now.
You are able to get a general sense of location-wise, and you're able to notice again that you would see one window open and one window closed. You'd have a vague idea of which window is which, but it doesn't seem like her room was open.
I look over to my shoulder and I kind of like motion to Cogfried. Oi, see if you can open that window. And have Cogfried fly up there and see if he can like.
I'm gonna say, how would Cogfried open it? Because I'm gonna say that Meili would have shut it and locked it after Ceres had left, because she is covering for Ceres, and it would lock from the inside. So picture one of those hooks.
Throw latch.
Right. So he wouldn't be able to do that. But Levin's room is open, and he's next door, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
All right. So Gearfried will, kind of wait until the coast is toast and cast a vortex warp on himself to teleport into Levin's room.
Okay. You are now in Levin's room. Levin, you don't happen to have any defenses set up, like an alarm spell or anything, right?
It's not a private room. It's I don't own this room. I'm not going to do that to the staff.
I mean, I figured I would just double check. You know, you sometimes cop-like people might be protective of secrets, you know?
Yes, but if I need to protect something, I carry it with me.
That's fair. Like I said, just figured I'd check. So now, you were in his room. What would you like to do?
Right. Gearfried will just... I'm not looking for anything that Fennec's doing, or Levin's doing, so I will very carefully just like walk out of his room, close the door, and then walk over to where Saris and Melee are staying, and very gently open the door.
Okay.
Look in. Is there anyone inside?
There is no one inside.
Okay. In that case, I will walk in. And is there anything in the room I should be asked? I guess I'll ask Saris. Is there anything in the room that is like obviously yours versus obviously Melee's?
Not really. In fact, it would possibly look... It'll be suspiciously weird that it seems like Saris doesn't have any possessions. She literally carries everything she cares about.
Okay.
There might...
Well.
Melee might have... I don't know, but I think, like, Melee might have, like, little trinkets or something set out, or, like, her backpack there. I'm actually going through my inventory. Yeah, I don't have a lot of things. Maybe like her backpack with like some of her rations and torches and tinderbox.
Gearfried will walk up to the backpack and burn a magic tinkering to make it so whenever an individual puts on the backpack, it emits a noxious fume like someone has just farted. And then
Can you do that to the backpack? I thought there was a size limit on that.
Tiny, non-magical.
Tiny non-magical object. I guess that kind of depends on what is considered tiny.
I usually think of, like, in that context, I always thought it was handheld items.
Yeah, I would say that tiny would be like a rock or a necklace, something like that.
Okay,
There are in the backpack rope, rations, torch, tinderbox, water skin.
So in theory, you should be able to use it on a tinderbox or something.
Yeah.
There's also the University of Sharnmuck.
I will cast it on anything that is like kind of loose in the backpack, like that is just kind of like, I don't know, not like securely fastened to make it so anytime it jostles significantly, it makes a fart smell that will emit around the area. So like when you, and I will I'll call it there. I will walk out of the room. I will close the door. And then I will walk down the stairs completely casually.
Fennec.
What did Fennec do?
While he's doing that, what are you doing?
He's not with them, so he wouldn't know any of this is happening.
Well, you would be outside of the tavern. You wouldn't be with Gearfried, so I'm assuming you'd be walking into the tavern and you would be seeing Levin and Melee and possibly a disembodied cup drinking or being treated as if somebody's drinking.
Yes.
And a half-eaten roll.
He will walk up to Levin. Well, I'm back.
None the worse for the wear. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. It was nothing.
He's gonna slide the rolls over to you.
Thank you. He'll eat one. Yep. Nope. They're the wrong person. I think someone said they were looking for a Sir Fuxton.
I don't.
I came back. So, Melee, how's it going?
Not too bad. And how about you?
Not too bad. How'd you sleep?
Very well, except for being woken by people talking loudly. But other than that, not too bad.
Oh, no, that sucks. Sorry.
Gearfried will have walked down at this point and just kind of like pat her on the shoulder and just say, "Yeah, sorry about that. Didn't mean to wake you."
Should have been up.
It's okay. Sorry if I was too harsh with you.
Oh, you what? He's gonna have that like shit-eating grin on his face of like mischief.
Ceres, you are seeing that instead of walking through the main entrance, you would notice that Gearfried did descend the stairs.
Gearfried because he was invisible.
No, I'm not invisible at this point.
Yeah, but I never saw you at the
Oh, right.
park.
Though you did see Cogfried on Fennec, and he's no longer on Fennec.
Hmm.
And you would see him coming down the stairs. And you would see Fennec and his quote-unquote shit-eating grin as he's talking to Melee. Melee is just handling the conversation casually, pretty much half unawares of what happened, only knowing that she is covering that you had left.
It's not like a shit-eating grin that he has done something, but it's game on kind of grin. Like he's not acknowledging that she knows, but he's hinting that he's knows.
So it's like, I know that you know that I know that you know that you know
Yes.
that I know. Gotcha.
Yes.
So you're seeing this exchange going on, and your invisibility is slowly going to be running out soon.
Yep.
What would you like to do?
Just sit back, enjoy my water, eat my roll.
All right. You guys would see that there's a roll that's kind of getting bit into nothingness. It's kind of just, you see a roll, and then you see a quarter of a roll, and then you see a half a roll, and so on and so forth.
So Melee, Sarah's up yet?
I'm sure.
Loud sip of water.
He's ignoring it.
I'm sure she is.
Gearfried's just kind of like fists on his chin, just like watching the roll disappear into the ether.
Oh man.
All right. Well, I mean, is there a reason you're invisible right now?
I feel safer this way?
Oh, I didn't even see you there. Hi, good morning.
Hmm.
I'm safer that way, huh?
Better not to be seen.
Safe from what?
The world in general. We made possible enemy of a psychotic halfling?
Allegedly, psychotic halfling.
I feel pretty confident in psychotic halfling.
Oh, but you weren't invisible last night. You seemed fine then.
I
I
was
was in
in.
disguise last night.
She's pointing at Fennec, but no one can see her. Not Fennec. She's pointing at Levin, but no one can see her.
All right. Well, now that we're all up and at 'em, should we go about figuring out how we're going to approach tomorrow? I mean, I'm certain that
Securing the home.
right, but I'm certain that Dwarden's going to have some choice words for us given the events of last night. Should we work on our ass coverage, or should we just prepare for what we're going to be doing when it comes to protecting this device.
Yes, I believe we should. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I wouldn't really say that those are mutually exclusive.
Point taken.
Definitely should go over our ass covers, though, because he'll look towards where the roll was. We wouldn't want anybody to be left in the dark, would we?
What? Sorry. Thinking about something else. What did you say?
Said we wouldn't want anybody to be left in the dark. Now, would we?
Sure. Maybe. Probably not.
Right.
How very ominous.
I'm going to make some purchases in preparations for defending it. But I would need to know the level of access that we have to the home and the necklace in question. So we're kind of going to have to stop there first, aren't we?
Yeah, that's...
Remembered what I wanted to do. I was gonna pickpocket people on the way over, but no. I missed that. Oh well.
So, divide and conquer, or are we all going to be tackling our current objectives as a team?
Might tag along with Levin for the shopping trip.
Well, the shopping trip would happen after we figure out the parameters for defending it. So
We should probably head there first, then.
all right, let's mosey. We're
All right,
losing
let's go.
daylight.
Alrighty. So with that, you make your way to the estate. It does take you a little bit of traveling for foot time. I'm assuming you're not moving at the jogging pace that Levin was moving at earlier. So this is going to take you closer to an hour's worth of time, where you are finally arriving in this upper crust. Those of you who are in any sorts of armor or any sorts of peasant-like clothing, you do almost immediately draw attention. As you approach the estate, you are stopped by guards. Oh, what can I do for you?
As soon as we just right before we transitioned into the different neighborhood, Saris would have cast disguise self to change herself into trying to think. Kind of like a low level, I guess like a lower, not lower class, that's not the word I'm looking for, but a minor noble, minor merchant noble.
Okay.
Someone who can afford to be there but doesn't necessarily rank as important enough to know.
Understood. Yep.
Gearfried will take a note out of Saris's book and also disguise self. That's right, I prepared that. And Gearfried will take the form of basically himself, except not Genasi. He will instead take the... He doesn't... Did Genasi have pointed ears? I've never actually looked...
I've always assumed they did.
Okay. Gearfried will kind of take a more human form. So his skin goes from its sort of ash gray to a just more of a tan. His hair goes from fire to just black. Kind of a John Stamos look he's just kind of got going on. And his clothing will just look like a nice set of nobleman's attire.
Alrighty. So we have two people who belong. Levin, you're dressed in your normal garb, correct?
Yes, still adorned in robes. So, it's not upper class or anything like that. It is apparent.
And Fennec, you've got your nicest suit on that I'm not sure the last time it was washed is.
Whatever the chance had arisen, he would have washed it. Or had it washed.
Or have somebody just use prestidigitation on you. Sure, somebody in
Yeah.
the party knows it.
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it.
And
Gifford has
you-
Cockbreed with him too, by the way.
So, what can I do for you?
We're here to see Dorian.
Diorian,
Sorry.
Lord,
master of the house.
Lord Diorin is not seeing anybody today.
Ah,
I'm certain he'll make an exception if you tell him that the Dans are here to have a discussion about a matter of security.
The
rolls her
Dans?
eyes.
I ain't never heard of the Dans.
Well, perhaps you should educate yourself a little bit more thoroughly.
You're going to see a glower aimed in your direction. Well, maybe I just won't let him know, because if I ain't never heard of the Dans, you ain't getting in.
Rolls her eyes again. It steps up. It's like, I apologize for my friend. He's had a very traumatic morning. If you would be so kind as just to let him know his... Sorry, what am I thinking of? His... Damn it.
Yeah, I understand those brain farts.
Look, he's hiring us for something, alright? We just need to talk to him about it.
His consultants have arrived. Of course, if he's... just let him know we're here, and if he doesn't want to talk to us, obviously, we will go about our merry way and come back tomorrow. But on the off chance that he wants to speak to us today, we'd like to make ourselves available to him.
Somebody give me a persuasion check. Who's involved in this?
I have +3 to my persuasion.
I have +8.
Okay, you make the persuasion check. Can I be her hype man to try to give her some advantage there?
I'd allow it.
All right.
I felt like someone in the party should have some sort of persuasion ability.
We do, Fennec.
Fennec is the charisma
So-
caster.
With a 90.
Fennec is a force of personality.
It's
That's
a
one way of
personality, all right. With a
What is
19,
experience?
you are able to persuade the guard to at least relay the message. It does take about 10 minutes to get a response back. When you do, you notice that it seems as if the guard who is sent back, his pallor is more pallid. It's more his skin is almost whiter, as if he had just gotten into trouble. Come in, go to the back in the garden. He'll be waiting.
Thank you for your consideration.
You're looking a little flushed. You hydrated?
Slightly, just sort of pushes Fennec along.
He's going to be glaring at you as you comment.
That's
But I
look
go
of a man.
to extend his head forward like I'm waiting for an answer. As Ferris is shoving him.
Yeah, it's like, Fennec, we need to work on your ability to make friends.
Gearfried will lean in also to Fennec and say, "That is the look of a man who just got his ass chewed out."
That's his problem.
Right, but best not to poke the bear in this instance.
No, I certainly want to poke a bear with, the back of the dagger, would I?
We will possibly have to be around that man for 2 weeks. Him hating us is not going to make it better.
Probably right.
And with that, as you follow the instructions that were given to you, you will find Horde and Diorian sitting within a gazebo covered in bushes and vines of fruit. And as he eyes you heading towards him, he does have an aggravated expression on his face.
Ah, here it is. Halfling ran off with the necklace, I bet.
Greetings.
Master Diorian gives him a bow.
The bow isn't returned.
Didn't expect it to be. I'm bowing to him. That'd be weird if he bowed to me.
Normally they would, like nod a head in response, something to acknowledge it. There is no response to it.
Is everything all right, my lord?
Well, I'm a little bit torn here. See, I have these individuals I hired with very explicit instructions. One was to maintain a sense of cover. The other was to return 2 days later, so as not to draw attention to themselves. Now, could you imagine my surprise when not only does one of those members confess that he's doing a job in front of the people who I'm keeping these direct secrets from, but said person arrives at my house not 2 days later, as instructed, with his party of friends, but the next day.
And like, what kind of are you looking at? Oh, me.
To be fair, my lord, that's not entirely his fault on that one. We all are equally responsible for the mistake of arriving today. We were somewhat concerned with the nature of our job and wanted to make sure that there hasn't been anything amiss with the necklace since last night.
Ah, yes. So when that guard nicely interrupted my helping my wife pack so that she can leave today, he enters telling me about the guards that I hired being at the gate wishing to talk to me and being quite insistent.
We expressly asked him to say we were the consultants.
There were 2 contradictory stories, and that's his boss.
Okay.
Because you had mentioned that after Gearfried had mentioned that you were guards.
Gearfried said we were okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Gearfried, correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't think I'm pretty sure I specifically didn't say guards. I think he said he hired
the
us.
Dans. Yeah, he said the Dans were here.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dan. Yeah.
Backtracking that a little bit. So could you imagine when my guards came in and interrupted, saying that I had guests unexpectedly? The questions that I may have had to be evasive and omit information to my beloved.
Pardon me for interrupting, sir.
Apologize.
With regards to the individual, and he's going to pull a hand and gesture towards Fennec. One could write it off as him coming over to privately apologize for his behavior the evening before. It may benefit to have him look like as he's been privately disciplined.
Well, you are here. What is the reason for What is your reason for being?
Well, as part of my personal preparations for securing the area, I would need to know priorities on things like what can be done to the dwelling, what manner of damage is acceptable,
Mm-hmm.
what measures need to be taken should the object actually be taken off the premises.
You're going to notice that he kind of looks to the left and looks to the right as if concerned that there are prying ears. As for the destruction of my house, I would quite recommend you try your best to avoid damaging anything too valuable.
And this is going to sound as though I'm making light of it, but would there be objections to dirt on the floor?
Well, the housekeeper does keep a neat and tidy house, so I'm sure I will hear complaints if it's too messy, but if I come home and any of my paintings or works of art are damaged, you will have issues.
And that would be problematic. Well, I have what I need on that front. Thank you.
Ultimately, try your best to avoid causing me any scandal.
And if the item is removed from the premises, you would want for us to pursue the individual?
Indeed, because if there is a death in my house, that would quite certainly classify as causing me a scandal.
Priority on capture, if not retrieval of the item.
Indeed.
Also, if I may, I don't mean to sound presumptuous in our task here. Do you think you could pass along any information you have on your party planner?
I don't know much about him. He's a friend of my wife's.
I see.
Can one get a hold of him if they want to plan a party? If
Would you like me to fetch my wife?
No, she's currently engaging in packing, as you said. If we delay her further, that complicates things on your end.
Indeed.
Well, I guess a question would probably behoove us. You're not expecting any sort of parcel deliveries or anyone but us and your staff to be making their way to or from the estate, correct?
Well, there would be food deliveries. How else you going to eat?
Aside from that, I'm more so asking that, we're not surprised by a large wooden box that might be housing a contraption or an individual who might want to, do your estate harm or steal the
If
piece
you're
of jewelry.
asking if it's possible to receive unexpected packages, it is quite often. Oftentimes, Dragon and Marked houses will send things when favors are being requested or those in positions of power who would like to reserve certain items and things. So is it possible that something may show up that I cannot foresee? Yes.
All right. I just thought it worth asking, is all.
Indeed. Is there anything else I can help?
Not that I can think of. Anyone else have anything?
I have everything I need.
We should be
same.
good. Tomorrow, would you like us to arrive in disguise, in any sort of attire that would be specific?
Is there a
to
time of day you would prefer us to arrive?
that?
Dawn would be best, and unless you know invisibility, disguises are always welcome.
Yes.
Then I would request a uniform that your guards would typically wear.
And you're going to see him kind of clap and at the request, you're going to see a servant walk off to go and get uniforms for each of you.
You have them well trained.
But they're well paid.
Actually, if you don't mind, might I have a maid's uniform?
Oh, that's exactly what we were getting.
Excellent. Perfect.
And we also have one for your friend, as he points to Melee.
Excellent.
Actually, sir, this might seem a bit odd, and Gearfried will hold out his arm, and Cogfried will kind of crawl from his shoulder to his arm. This might seem a little less suspicious if it is taken from you as a sort of a token to be added to your collection. I noticed that when we entered your estate last time, you did have objects similar to Cogfried in regards to their structure and build, though they weren't autonomous. Do you think you could take my little mechanical friend here, bring him inside, set him up in just a random spot for me to encounter later? I mean, he's perfectly fine sitting still and waiting for me to reconvene back to him, but it might be a little less suspicious if you bring him in and then we show up tomorrow without him.
Sure. And then you're going to notice that another one of the servants who are nearby takes Cogfried to bring him inside.
Right. Farewell, my boy.
5 minutes later, the other servant would make his way out, and you would be handed with a large pile of clothing with a pair of uniforms for each of you.
Appreciate it.
Yours is child size.
All right.
But with that, is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, at this point, Levin would excuse himself.
Alrighty. Making your way back towards the tavern, unless there's anywhere else you'd like to go. We are going to kind of pause it here for the evening, where we are about to time skip ahead to the next day, where you start your 2-week house sitting job. Hopefully, it goes smoothly.
Before we jump to the next day, Saris would like to purchase a hand crossbow for herself.
You would certainly be able to purchase a hand crossbow for yourself, and that's going to cost you 75 gold pieces.
Excellent.
Does anybody else want to make any last-minute purchases before we call it for our night?
I'll PM you the list over the tomorrow.
Yeah, I will do something similar.
Sounds good. For now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. Those of you who may be watching us later, it is greatly appreciated that you do. Please check out our website, check out our other Realms-based shows, check out our merchandise. We have a Patreon. Those of you who join Patreon, you can join us on Discord once you subscribe. This way, you can help join in on the shenanigans. Until then, we're going to sign off. Enjoy your weekend and have a safe week, everybody. Say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night.
Right.
Good night.